Hi, I'm Zoe, and when I decided to do a semester in the city, I was so excited. Ever since I was a kid, I had romanticized Boston, and I always thought I would move here after college. I've always considered myself to be an independent person, so I didn't think I would have a hard time with the transition. I was wrong. The day before move-in, I tested positive for COVID, and at that point, my excitement changed into something different. I couldn't move in for a week, and I was missing out on introductions to my classmates and learning how to navigate the city. But I was still optimistic for the rest of the semester. When I got to Boston, nobody had my keys or trolley card. At the time, I had no idea how to get around Boston or any idea of how public transportation really worked. It felt so uncomfortable to be asking people I had just met for so much help. My internship also started out rocky. My mentor had forgotten to tell the office coordinator that I was starting. That meant that I had to work remotely for the first few weeks, and I began to feel pretty insignificant. Almost immediately after I started going to my internship in person, I started a job at a restaurant in Seaport. It felt like between class, my internship, work, and the time it took to commute everywhere, that I didn't have enough time in a day. This semester was turning out to be harder than I had thought. I didn't understand why I was having such a difficult time. As a senior in college, I have always had a job, taken the maximum number of credits, and still didn't struggle as I was now. I felt disappointed in myself, and I started to feel like maybe I wasn't as independent as I had thought. The semester in the city staff were always telling us to work on self-reflection, so that's what I did. I realized I was missing my sense of community and belonging. I grew up in rural New Hampshire, so to go from that to a small college town to now being in a city with over 20 colleges, it all felt so big with so many moving parts. I found it hard to find my place in somewhere so large and unfamiliar. I missed walking down the street and seeing at least one person that I knew. I realized just how much the relationships I had built over the past 3 years had made me feel supported. Even when I felt overwhelmed, I would go home to my friends. I realized that I had been taking it all for granted before coming to Boston. But by no means was it all bad. Despite how difficult it was to adjust, coming to Boston allowed me to make new connections, grow as a professional, and learn a lot about growth and self-understanding. But I also learned that needing that sense of community isn't a bad thing, and doesn't mean that I'm not independent, and for that I'm so grateful for this semester.